What's up, everybody? I'm Jessekazam. Welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video, we are going over the podcast that just happened on Battlestate Games' Twitch account, where they showed off an early build of 12.8, talked about a bunch of the features, and even showed and talked about some stuff that's going to be coming a little bit later. I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links are down below. And if you like the video, go ahead and drop a like or subscribe for more content like this. But with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. So they covered a lot of stuff. So we'll dive right into some of the new stuff that we're going to be seeing in 12.8. There's a bunch of new gear that's coming. We've got 2 new weapons. We've got a Colt 45 pistol, which is currently going to be loot only on bosses and raiders and stuff like that. And then a Keltec RFB, which is a 7.62x51. So, you know, M61, M62, M80, that kind of stuff. And it's a semi-auto bullpup weapon. I'm not sure if that's going to be for sale or if that's going to be loot only, but that is coming in the game. Nikita talked about that there is another weapon that is coming in 12.8 that he didn't want to mention. He kind of wanted to be a surprise. So we're just going to have to, I guess, wait and see what that is. One of the biggest things, of course, the most anticipated feature is the compass. So there's going to be a compass that is not lootable. You have to buy it once. That slot will eventually be interchangeable for maybe a GPS or multiple types of compasses. But for right now, there will be a compass. You will be able to hotkey it so that your character pulls it out with his left hand. You keep your gun out, but you cannot shoot. He will put away the compass if you shoot. And it is a true compass right there on your screen. So you can see north, south, you can see everything, the arrows, the degrees, but also they added the actual specific degree of the direction that you're looking in the bottom right hand corner. So that's going to be much easier to actually tell and call out to a teammate, you know what I mean, 230, 120, whatever. You're going to be able to call that out. So we'll see how that goes, whether you love it or hate it. I'm interested to see. I don't think it's going to affect the game mechanics too much. I think fights happen so fast, but maybe this will give you a reason to back off of a fight. The compass plus the heavy bleeds, if you're with a teammate, a reason to back off a fight and then make a call out, but we'll see. There's going to be some new clothing options. He made it sound like it was 2 new upper and lower, so like 2 new sets for bears and for Jusek. He was able to show off the bears clothes, but because it was a bear account, he couldn't show off the Jusek clothes quite yet. We've got a new stock and some mods for the Vepr Hunter. So a new stock and a suppressor. They weren't able to fully show that off, but you know, we're gonna have to wait and see the value of those items, how easy they are to get, when you can get them, when you can buy them, if we'll find them on scavs, how expensive will be, that kind of stuff. But we will have suppressed Vepr Hunters running around pretty soon. There's also a lot of new gear. He showed off a ton of new backpacks, some more of the crappy stuff that scavs are going to have that's don't have a lot of space. It's just going to make the scav loot more dynamic, and not so many scavs are going to look like exactly the same. Also, a bunch of new backpacks for PMCs, a few more things that have defined areas. So it's not just one big backpack, but a few backpacks that have big sections and a few small sections. And some of the ones that were showed off looked actually pretty usable. Some of the ones in game, like the mechanism backpack, I just feel like I would never want to use. But some of these looked pretty cool, a few different stuff. A bunch of new equipment. There's a bunch of weapon mods and stuff that I don't even think that they ended up going through. Some miscellaneous stuff for AKs and stuff like that. We are getting 2 new helmets. The RIS T Black. It looks like an Alton. It is not an Alton helmet. This is what is in PUBG and stuff like that. He said it is going to be better than an Alton. We don't know in what way. We don't know if it's going to be the same class, like class 5, but with higher durability. We don't know if it's going to be class 6. He said they're going to be very expensive. I guess we'll see if they're lootable from traders or maybe just raiders, or who knows. But they're going to be expensive. A new Galvion helmet, which looks like you can do a half mask, face shield and a mandible. And it's a tactical helmet, so it looks like you can mount flashlights and stuff like that on it, and night vision, stuff like that. And a new headset. So Comtac Sorden's a new one. He didn't really talk much about the sound profile or how much they're going to cost, but we are going to get a new headset. He did show off in quite a bit of detail the new heavy bleed mechanics. So the way they described it was it'll now say light bleeding or heavy bleeding. The heavy bleeding is you're going to have kind of like a red vignette. There's going to be more blood in your eyes, and you're going to lose health much more rapidly. Now, he mentioned that some med kits will stop the heavy bleed, such as the IFAK. We don't know if other ones will. I'm assuming like the Grizzly and stuff will. We don't know exactly which ones, but he said that it will be at the expense of a lot of the durability of the med kit. So, I'm thinking that if an IFAK has 300 total durability, if stopping a heavy blood loss takes like a 100 of that or something, like these aren't real numbers, but then that would push you towards wanting to get some of these other items they added to the game. Because if not, I don't know why you wouldn't ever just continue to run an IFAK or Salua if they fix the heavy bleeds. But heavy bleeds also leave a blood trail, which is interesting. So there's going to be more blood on the ground if you're walking away with a heavy bleed. So if you do get a heavy bleed, manage to pop a painkiller and get away, your enemy could come up onto that spot, see a really light blood trail, and know that they got you with a heavy bleed so that you might be healing. So that's kind of cool. He talked about being able to play detective when you come up on like a crime scene and being able to kind of figure out what happened. If you get multiple heavy bleeds, that could definitely be devastating because you're going to be losing health very, very quickly. Now, they introduced 2 new health items that are going to help that are made to stop the heavy blood loss, and that is the tourniquet and the hemostatic syringe. The tourniquet is a single use. There's a little animation. You wrap it around your character's arm, you pull it tight, that stops the heavy bleeding. The hemostatic syringe has 3 uses, and so that you'll be able to use multiple times, which can be really, really nice. So 2 new medical items. We'll really see as the game progresses how necessary these are, or if you'll be able to just get away with rocking IFAKs like we talked about. Some of the other stuff that they mentioned that'll be coming with 12.8 are high quality color, which is an experimental option that he said could boost performance a little bit. We'll see. That'll be in the settings. An animations optimization. So he said they went through and optimized some of the animations that will come in 12.8.1 or 12.8.2. So during the 12.8 life cycle, but not right at the very beginning. Same with Unity 2019 test servers. So he talked about this kind of throughout the podcast, but soon there's going to be like a separate client with a separate launcher where you can launch into the test servers. You'll have to apply to get in. They are looking for people that are really going to report every single bug they come across. This is not just to test new features because it's cool, but this is to test out actual things and report bugs. There will be testing the Unity 2019. And he even talked about this is the place where they can test out removing secure containers or messing with the flea market or doing X, Y, or Z and seeing how those things play out without adjusting the entire game. I think this is a really good idea. I hope they utilize it like that. And I hope he wasn't just saying that to appease people, but I hope they utilize it like that. After 12.8 comes out, there's going to be surveys that come out on the forums and the Reddit asking us what we dislike about the game. What are some of the most annoying bugs? I urge anybody that sees those things to take them seriously and do that, because it sounds like they're trying to gather as much actual concise information from the community as possible to maybe prioritize some bug fixes, as opposed to them kind of being in their own little universe over there in Russia in the offices and then just seeing a bunch of random stuff on Twitter and Reddit. Hopefully this will help distill some of that down. They also showed off your little health guy up in the top left corner. There will be an option where your healthy limbs will be green, your hurt limbs will be red, and if you've taken some damage, that green will fade to yellow and then fade to red, just like when you go into the health tab on your character. So that'll be actually a more accurate snapshot of what your total health is like, which that will be cool. He mentioned that the grenade launcher grenades are going to be getting nerfed. We don't know how, but they are going to be getting nerfed a little bit. That he's heard the community on how the grenade launcher feels overpowered. A stim pouch is planned. He said that that's going to be coming sometime between 12.8 and 12.9 in a 12.8.x patch, where a small container where you can just put stims. That's really cool. And a few new hideout soft skills that will be coming in 12.8 as well. Another really cool thing that has been requested for a really long time is backpack quick dropping. The ability to just press a key or a combination of keys and your character, there's even a little animation, just tosses his backpack to the ground. If you are midway through a raid or almost to the end of a raid and you've got a backpack full of loot and you get into combat, you really want that stamina back, you want that endurance back, that mobility, you can just toss your backpack. This is super cool. They mentioned on the Russian podcast, but for those that don't know, that Woods is the next map getting an expansion. It is going to be up to 2 times in size. It's going to be where the current extraction is, where you can take the car. They're going to open that up. He said there's going to be some buildings, some points of interest, Sturman's headquarters. I'm super excited about that. I think hopefully they can change the flow of Woods and also add some dynamic to the firefight instead of just fighting around trees. But I like Woods. I like Woods a lot, so I'm super excited about that. They talked about some of the stuff going on in the development process for the game. They are still working from home, and this has been a blessing and a curse. And some departments get to be much more efficient this way, and in some ways it really makes it hard to do what they want to do. They're trying to maximize efficiency with problem solving, assigning roles to teammates, and acquiring problems, and making sure that there's a path from if there's something going on in the game, who gets that information, who does that person pass that information to, and they're going to try and make that much more efficient on how to get those bugs kind of like reported and worked on. He also announced in the Russian podcast and reiterated here that Streets of Tarkov with 0.13 is not coming in 2020. That has been pushed to 2021. Once again, we've known for a very long time this is the most ambitious map. We don't have any new information about the map, but he said a lot of progress is being made. They want to put a trailer together for Streets of Tarkov and the progress that has been made, and that trailer they want to come out this year. It's not really a huge surprise to me, to be honest with you, that they've pushed that a little bit. But hopefully we'll get that, as soon as possible. 12.8 patch notes will be out early next week is what he said. And there are some more features and stuff that weren't shown off today that should be in the patch notes, which is exciting. 12.9 will be what comes later, of course. More quality of life features. One of the big things is going to be malfunctions and jams and stuff like that, expounding on that system. We don't have a lot of hard actual things that are coming in 12.9, but he said some stuff that was almost made it into 12.8 got pushed to 12.9. To be honest with you, once again, this is just my opinion, but I would like more quality of life things personally in these next few patches while we work up towards like big things like streets, the plate carrier stuff, the storyline quest. I'd love to see, optimizations, UI improvements and stuff like that. They are making a few UI improvements. We could see a little bit of them in this, where like collapsing some of the menus, like a search on the flea market and how you do that. And there is a sort button in your stash now. They've created some algorithm to help sort your stash. I think for people that just kind of dump everything and go, this can help. But for people that like to keep a relatively tidy stash, this won't really do anything. It is interesting that it sorts in per container as well. You can open up a specific container, press sort, and it'll sort stuff in that container as well, which is kind of cool. So that's about it. That is mostly everything that came in the podcast and what they talked about. I'm super excited for 12.8. I'm super excited for the development of the game. They seem to be kind of in a groove. He said that they haven't really talked with us a lot because they're just in a groove trying to bang some of this stuff out. So hopefully this helped answer some questions. If you weren't able to catch the podcast, kind of distill everything down, and this help gets you excited for 12.8. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to check out this video. If I missed anything from the podcast, or if there's any other information that you've got, throw that down in the comments below. We can talk about that. If you liked the video, think about dropping a like or subscribing for more content like this. Subscribing really, really helps me out as a creator. So thank you so much to those that do that. I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. My links will be down below. Our Discord is an awesome place to get connected if you're looking for people to play Tarkov with. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time, and I will see y'all on the next one.